A healthcare worker should wash his or her hands.
I think every time that they see a patient, before and after, they should.
Probably before and after contact with a patient.
I think a healthcare worker should wash his or her hands right before they go into the patient's room, when they're touching a patient, basically anytime.
Healthcare worker for anybody, once they use the restroom, once they go in before they eat, after they eat, before you touch a patient, if you're a healthcare worker, anywhere, right from the nurse till the senior most physician.
How often do you think that healthcare workers comply with hand washing requirements?
I hope that they comply with them fully. However, I know being in that setting, I'm sure it's really busy and active and it's easy to forget.
I would like to think they probably do a pretty good job.
Actually, they comply with it maybe 60% of the time, perhaps, and I don't think they do. It's definitely not 100%.
After what I see, I think maybe 60 to 70% of the times.
All the media attention on swine flu over the past year, did you find that you washed your hands more often?
Definitely.
Yes.
No, that's probably because I'm a little OCD anyway, so I always wash my hands and carry hand sanitizer all the time, so I think I lived the swine flu-free life prior to anyway, so it didn't bother me.
Maybe a little, but I've always been washing my hands a lot, so maybe it did have an effect on me washing a little more than what I usually do. Excuse me. But, yeah.
You notice signs reminding employees to wash hands in hospitals or restaurants?
In hospitals, I've seen them almost at every door, and my dad was in the hospital for a couple of months last spring, and there were hand washing signs really at every door in the ICU, and all of the hand sanitizers and I would see the doctors actually use those every time they would come in and out of the rooms. So.
I don't really know hospitals too well, but I know in restaurants you see it in bathrooms, I guess, usually by the sink or by the door. I would assume they probably do the same in hospitals.
In restaurants, I only see it in the bathrooms where they say, please make sure you wash your hands. But I have not seen it anywhere in the hospitals. I see the hand sanitizing stations.
Not in too many restaurants, but all of the campus of UAB, all the schools, you can see right over here, you have all those hand sanitizers coming up. And most of the hospitals I went to in UAB hospitals, so I've seen it almost all over the place.
Is hand hygiene important to you when you visit healthcare facilities?
Yes, I think just as much as it is in any time, because that's the main thing that you're using, to shake people's hands or coming into contact with more germs than anything else. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a lot of sick people there, so I mean, if I use it after I pump gas, then I would hope that the doctor would use good hand hygiene after dealing with a sick person.
In the past, it hasn't been, because I've always thought people were washing their hands, but now because I am in healthcare, I see that there are different infections and what it causes, so I'm more aware of it now, and I would prefer people to wash their hands all the time.
Well, sure I do. I mean, I think that's the first thing. I think that's the most common way of transmitting anything, right from the small common cold to the big swine flu, so I'm sure it's the most important thing.